Hello everyone, this is Tony Kasikia with you this evening. The reason why we're doing this video is to just give some explanation as to the new law enacted or yeah the by the President of the United States yesterday, Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. President Biden decided that he will give a parole in place for some immigrants that came through the border some times ago. Before we get to the decision of President Biden, it's important that we give some background on U.S. immigration law, so we can understand the context of this new decision made by Biden. In general, when you come to the United States, when an immigrant comes to the United States, they must have a proper document that allows them to enter the United States. Most of the time, a visa. Anyway, they must be allowed to enter the United States legally. And for some people, one reason or other, they take the back door, they take the border to come to the United States. So there is a law that stated that when you don't come to the United States through the border or legally, you do not have an I-94 that shows that you enter the United States in a proper way. You are banned from adjusting your status. You cannot adjust your status here unless you leave the country and come back. Even when you marry a US citizen, you cannot adjust your status. That has been the law of the land, and it still remains the law of the land. Anyone that comes through the border will not be able to adjust their status even when they marry a US citizen, unless they leave the country and go out, get a visa, and come back. And there is a procedure that will lead them to go back and come back, to go and come back. It's what we call provisional waiver, though we are not into that today. So now, President Biden now is saying that there are so many immigrants who are here. They are married to US citizens, but they can now adjust their status because they cannot leave the country, because they don't want to take the risk of leaving and not be able to come back. And they have their family here. They don't want to take the risk of separating themselves from their family, only to find themselves somewhere else in the world, and they can come back to the United States. Now, President Biden said yesterday that what he's offering is that those who came here through the border or illegally, somehow they don't have I-94. And those are the people we call, the type of entry we call entry without inspection, EWI, entry without exception. If anyone comes to the United States through that channel 10 years ago, so he offered them to have them, rather than leaving the country, there will be parole in place. Basically, parole is somehow a forgiveness. So rather than leaving the country, they will be paroled here. So as we stated earlier, the process of leaving and come back is a parole. They give them a parole, you go and you come back. So now they are offering them a parole in place. They will allow them to adjust their status here in the United States without having to leave the country and going somewhere else. So that's what President Biden is offering. So these are the conditions of what he is offering. Number one, the person has to enter no later than June 17, 2014, meaning 10 years ago. You have to enter the United States without inspection 10 years ago. You must be a spouse of a US citizen. And then you must not have a criminal record. So, number one, if you enter after June 17, 2014, you cannot benefit from this law. So you must have entered more than 10 years ago. Number two, you must be married to a US citizen. If you entered 10 years ago and you are not married to a US citizen, you are not concerned with this law. Third, you must not have a criminal record. This means that all these conditions will be verified by the government before they can allow you, they can give you the parole in place. And this also suggests that your relationship, you have to have a proof of the time you enter the country, or you must be able somehow to show that yes, you have been here for 10 years. You must also be able to show continued presence in the United States since 2014. And your relationship also has to be a bona fide relationship. So for those who have heard that Biden has enacted this law, so to say, there is no point of get married yesterday or tomorrow, because you are not going to be covered by this, because he has already put a date in it. Okay. Number one. Number two, even if you are married before the date that which was mentioned in the law, you still have to show that your marriage is a bona fide one. Third, this does not replace in any way the process by which one gets the green card, one adjusts the status. It's just that the hurdle that was on you, that is preventing you from marrying your spouse who's a US citizen because you don't have I-94. That's what is removed. That hurdle is the only thing that is removed from you now. So, meaning they are giving you indirectly an I-94, so you can proceed with your adjustment of status as everybody else who was able to adjust their status here. So you're still going to adjust your status in the same way, the traditional way everybody is adjusting their status. The only thing is that you have to do the parole in place and then move on to the adjustment of status. And they vow to verify your relationship before they can approve this. So keep that in mind. So basically that's what was decided by President Biden yesterday. And so finally, this implementation will start in the month by the end of the summer, meaning September. So everybody should wait. The form on which this application will be filed. We don't have that form yet, so we don't have all the details as to how that will be done. We also don't know the filing fee yet, so everybody should wait. Stay tuned until all these details are provided to us, and then the work will begin. Thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you later.